in person for the first time in a while. Yeah, it's been a while. And if you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering why I'm making a video announcement. Well, it's actually for a couple of reasons. I've been doing Hanime on Anime for almost 4 years now, and really have enjoyed my time with it, as well as the support that I get from those who follow me. But lately, I feel like I've lost a bit of my mojo in the past couple of months. A lot of it comes from things going on in my personal life, like a new and totally awesome job, and even dealing with some emotional issues. But part of it also comes from the fact that I've just grown tired of doing the same thing over and over again. So I feel like as a result of that, I'm letting the quality of my reviews slip. But over the Christmas holidays, I came up with an idea that would hopefully improve the quality of my work and maybe even change the face of Hanime on Anime itself. And now, sit back and relax because I'm about to tell y'all a story. For a long time, I had often considered looking into YouTube as an outlet for my blog and had, on several occasions, used it for announcements and events, but was a little skeptical about using it for the usual content I put out. But that all changed when I stumbled onto a YouTuber named Dan Jones. For those of you who don't know who this guy is, Dan is a YouTuber with Asperger's syndrome who runs his own channel called the Aspie World, where he mostly talks about autism, Asperger's syndrome, and issues related to mental health. And if you've followed my blog or seen some of my YouTube videos at all, I myself have Asperger's syndrome and have been very open about my diagnosis. I'd been subscribed to Dan well before now and didn't always watch his videos because I felt the information he put out was a little redundant. Having Asperger's syndrome myself and have learned about it since my diagnosis 10 years ago, a lot of it seemed to just repeat itself. No offense, Dan. But then this year he started doing a Vlogmas series where he went into his personal life, and I started watching them non-stop, to be honest. And afterwards, I felt a little intimidated and even sad. Here's a guy who's just like me. Well, the Asperger's part anyway. And yet has this wonderful career as a YouTuber and advocate, and on top of that, he seemingly has this great personal life. Admittedly, my professional life has actually been pretty great, but like I said earlier, I had been dealing with a lot of personal and emotional drama, particularly in dealing with the emotional scars from my broken engagement of 2 years now. It was a bit anxiety-inducing and even hurt a little to see someone who deals with the same disorder as I do seemingly have it all. But the more I thought about these videos, this one thought came to mind. How often do you see someone with autism portrayed in a positive way, especially when it involves that person's professional and personal life? Very rarely, if at all. When that thought crossed my mind, it got me motivated. It got me to not be concerned about the things I don't have in life and focus on ways to make those things that I do have even better. And Hanime on Anime was the first place to start. And so, after that very long and very personal story, I am proud to announce that finally, after 4 long years, Hanime on Anime will finally be doing video reviews on YouTube. And so I close this announcement by saying thank you to all of you who have been following me up to this point. I appreciate all of the support that you have given me. And a big thank you to Dan. Thanks for reminding me to keep being awesome. And here's to 2019 being the year that Hanime on Anime will change for the better. Let's start things off with a review on a become one of my personal favorites and was hands down one of the best shows of 2018.
No, not that one.
Though I get the feeling that people are still gonna be talking about it. I'm talking about My Hero Academia Season 3.
Picking up from where Season 2 left off, the students of Class 1A head off to summer camp where they go through an intense training camp to prepare for the provisional licensing exam. This exam allows prospect heroes to earn a special license that will allow them to work as pro heroes with some limitation. However, and also piggybacking from Season 2, the newly formed League of Villains tracks down the location of the camp and attacks Class 1A, and even manages to kidnap Bakugo in the process. This leads to the mother of all showdowns between All Might and the infamously built-up villain All For One. And without giving too much away, let's just say this was one of the best anime fights of 2018, and, admittedly, will have any American shout, "America!" After these whirlwind of events, Class 1A soon goes into taking the provisional licensing exam. And there's so much spoiler content there and towards the end of the season that I won't dare ruin that for you. But let's face it, you've probably already seen this, so chances are you already know what happens.
Now, before I get started with the review, I wanted to take a minute and talk about my new ranking system. Now that I'll be doing my reviews as videos, I decided to change how I rank the anime series and movies that I'll be reviewing. When I first started out, I ranked them based on stars, ranging from 1 star to 5 star. And then after a while, I decided to do a 1 through 10 system. But recently, I really have started to dislike the 1 through 10 system because I felt like it was inaccurate in how I really felt about the show. So I decided to completely scrap that and do a 1 through 100 ranking system. And essentially, it'll almost be like I'm grading these shows.
Now that I've got that out of the way and getting straight to the point here, I give My Hero Academia Season 3 a 95.
It amazes me how wonderfully this show builds itself up from the past 3 seasons and how relatable the characters are in the series.
In Season 1, we started off with this zero to hero story with Izuku. From Season 2, we learn a little more about the students of Class 1A and also go through a dramatic event that changes the very structure of the world around them. Now, in Season 3, we build off of this occurrence and show the results of that. And of course, we continue to watch the students of Class 1A grow, not only in character, but with their quirks as well.
The show also does a great job of giving characters who need that development all the time that they need to develop. It doesn't give attention to one character more than the other because they're the fan favorite or the protagonist. Every character gets the right amount of attention in the right amount of time.
Because of that, I find it hard to seriously dislike any of the characters in the show. Well, most of them anyway, but we'll get to that in a second. I even found characters like Mineta actually funny, and I only say that because I feel like oftentimes he gets a lot of hate for being this disgusting and deplorable pervert. Granted, to be fair, he is disgusting and deplorable, but there are other anime characters out there that are far worse and deserve much more hate than they probably get.
Then, speaking of characters that deserve more hate than they probably get, let's talk about Bakugo.
I'll be honest, I don't like Bakugo. No, scratch that. I hate Bakugo. He's loud, he's cocky, and he's just a bully. Heck, in the first episode of this series, Bakugo not only harasses Izuku, but he destroys his property and then proceeds to tell Izuku to kill himself.
If that's not one of the worst first impressions in anime I've ever seen, then good lord, I don't know what is.
Yet, oddly enough, Bakugo had one of the best character moments in the entire series. And by the end of it, he became every My Hero Academia fan's favorite character in the entire series. Why? Well, because we see this insecure and vulnerable side to him that changes how we look at him completely. Rather than seeing Bakugo be this bully who acted like he was all that in a bag of chips, we realize that he's actually afraid of letting other people down because he feels like he's not strong enough.
And the best part is that we watch this come to light through the natural progression of the story. It doesn't just come out of nowhere, it comes bit by bit.
We get tiny hints throughout the series that Bakugo needs to make a change in his personality or he won't get any better as a future hero. But it seemed like he refused to change up until this point. In fact, there was a point during the League of Villains / All for One arc where I thought Bakugo was going to become a villain and actually join the League of Villains itself. In fact, I specifically remember telling myself that either Bakugo needs to change now or he'll become a villain. It was actually nice after watching him be a stubborn jackass for 3 seasons finally break down and realize he has to grow up and start making a change if he wants to be the kind of hero he wants to be.
I still don't like Bakugo, but I definitely loved this bit of development and can understand why a lot of fans fell in love with him. Among other highlights, there was another great scene during the provisional licensing exam arc between Todoroki and another student.
Without giving too much away, there's a bit of conflict between him and a student from a rival school who had some history with him and his father Endeavor that majorly affects the results of both of their portions of the exam. This moment has a serious impact on Todoroki, and we learn that he's not completely over his past, but it's not anything that we don't know already. Still, it was one of my favorite moments in Season 3, and, well, Todoroki was my pick for Character of the Year 2018, so why not mention it?
So, yeah, looking back, the characters and the development that they got were really, for me, the highlights of Season 3 and what made it so great. But as much as I've been praising Season 3 up and down, there is one tiny blemish.
If I had to nitpick on anything, and I mean anything that was lousy from Season 3, it would have to be the special episode that aired between episodes 57 and 59.
Again, this is absolutely nitpicking because I felt like on its own, this episode wasn't that bad. I'll even admit I kind of liked it.
It's a nice filler episode with a decent plot and actually goes a little daring in bringing up a very dark subject that I don't think it's talked about in anime a whole lot. But this episode pretty much gets botched when you learn that it's just an overglorified advertisement for the movie My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, which came out during Season 3's run.
And if you want to know what my thoughts were on the movie, well, let's just say that'll be another review for another day.
Not only that, the way they included this episode was very distracting and totally derailed from what was going on. This episode came out between the end of the first part of the licensing exam and the start of the second part of the exam, and there was a good bit of tension and drama that had built up to this point. It disrupts the ongoing plot of the running arc, and it's just infuriating, especially since, again, the episode only serves as an advertisement for the movie.
But despite this eyesore, I will continue to sing the praises of this show. If you have not checked out Season 3, or heck, the entire series, I absolutely recommend it. I kid you not when I say, it is definitely one plus ultra watch. And so that wraps up this week's review. Thank you so much for watching, and come back January 20th where I'll be reviewing another Titanic show from 2018. Get it? Titanic? You know? Just come back on January 20th and you'll find out. But until next time, bye!